Hello everyone, and welcome back. It is a privilege to be with you again to discuss something that underpins absolutely everything we do in this industry. In our previous sessions, we focused heavily on the technical, how to code, how to analyze data, how to build networks. Today, we shift our focus to the rules of the game. We are tackling K19, relevant legal, ethical, social and professional standards to a digital and technology solution. This covers everything from data protection and intellectual property to accessibility and ethics. Our purpose today is to hand you your license to operate. These are the essential guardrails that keep you, your company, and your users safe. It is what distinguishes a hacker in a basement from a trusted digital and technology solutions professional. My objective is that by the end of this session, you will be able to confidently identify the specific laws and ethical standards that apply to your job role and know exactly how to document that understanding as evidence for your portfolio. Remember, a solution that works technically but fails legally is not a solution, it's a liability. Today, we build the foundation of responsible practice. To make sense of this broad topic, I want you to visualize K19 as 4 essential guardrails on the road of your professional practice. They exist to keep you on track and prevent catastrophic errors. The first and strongest guardrail is legal standards. These are the must-dos. These are the laws of the land, like the Data Protection Act or the Computer Misuse Act. They are not suggestions. Breaking them carries severe consequences for you and your employer. The second guardrail is ethical standards. These are the should-dos. Technology moves faster than the law, creating gray areas. Ethics is the internal compass that makes you ask, just because I can harvest this data, should I? The third guardrail is social standards. These are the impact-dos. This is about recognizing that we build tools for humans. It covers our responsibility to ensure diversity, inclusion, and accessibility so that no one is left behind by the digital revolution. The final guardrail is professional standards. These are the we-dos. These are the codes of practice, like those from the BCS, that we voluntarily agree to follow to demonstrate that we are experts who hold ourselves to a higher bar than the general public. Let's zoom in on that first guardrail, the legal standards. While there are many laws, there is a big trinity that every single one of you must know inside out. First is the Data Protection Act 2018, which incorporates the UK GDPR. This governs how we handle information about living people. You must ensure you have a lawful basis to process data, you must keep it secure, and you must be transparent about its use. Second is the Computer Misuse Act 1990. This law is strict. It makes it a criminal offense to access or modify any computer material without authorization. This covers everything from a sophisticated cyber attack down to guessing a colleague's password to look at a file you aren't supposed to see. Third is the Copyright, Designs and Patents Act 1988. This protects intellectual property. In the UK, computer code is treated as a literary work. This means you cannot legally copy code from the internet or use software libraries without checking the license first. Think of these like traffic laws. GDPR is the speed limit, keeping everyone safe. The Computer Misuse Act is the law against trespassing or joyriding, and copyright is the law against stealing the car itself. You violate these at your peril. Moving to the social and ethical guardrails, this is where we consider the human being on the other side of the screen. Accessibility is a massive part of this. It's not just a social nicety, it's backed by the Equality Act 2010, which requires us to make reasonable adjustments. The technique here is to design for edge cases. If you make a site work for a screen reader, you often improve the structure for search engines too. It's a win-win. Then we have diversity. We know statistically that diverse teams build better products because they have fewer blind spots. If everyone on the team looks and thinks the same, you will build a product that only works for people like you. Finally, ethics. Algorithms can be biased, data can be manipulative. A simple practical technique for ethics is the red face test. Ask yourself, if this decision or this line of code was printed on the front page of the news tomorrow, would I be embarrassed? If the answer is yes, you have hit an ethical guardrail. Stop immediately. Our final guardrail is professional standards. This is about the pride and responsibility we take in our career. Most of us will align with a body like the BCS, the Chartered Institute for IT. When you join, you agree to a code of conduct. This includes a duty to the public interest, acting with integrity, and, crucially, never claiming to be competent in an area where you are not. Beyond the general codes, you must know the regulatory frameworks of your specific sector. This is context. If you work in banking, the Financial Conduct Authority, FCA, sets incredibly strict rules on data resilience and how you treat customers. If you work in telecoms, you answer to Ofcom. Being a professional means knowing that you aren't just writing code in a vacuum, you are operating within a regulated industry that relies on your compliance. Let's make this concrete. How does K19 show up in your daily work? For Chloe, our software engineer, this is daily practice. When you download a library, you are dealing with intellectual property. You must check if the license allows you to use it. When you write a front-end interface, you are responsible for accessibility, adding those ARIA labels so screen readers work. For Liam, our network engineer, you have privileged access. You can technically see everything on the network. The Computer Misuse Act is your Bible here. You must never use that access for anything other than authorized work. You also implement the firewalls that satisfy the security principle of the GDPR. And for Maya, our cybersecurity analyst, you are the guardian of these standards. Your role exists to ensure the legal and professional standards are met. You audit the systems to ensure the company isn't breaking the Data Protection Act, and you ensure compliance with frameworks like ISO 27001. For our other specialists, K19 is just as vital. Ben, as a data analyst, you are handling the raw material of the Data Protection Act. Your practical application is ensuring data is anonymized before you analyze it. You also have a huge ethical duty. You must test your data models to ensure they don't contain hidden biases that discriminate against specific groups of people. For Aisha and Tom, our consultant and business analyst, your job is compliance by design. You don't wait for the solution to be built to check the rules. When you gather requirements, you are asking, is this feature legal? Does this process meet FCA regulations? Is this user journey accessible? You bake K19 into the blueprint of the solution. Now, let's get this into your portfolio. Assessors hate it when you just copy-paste a definition of the GDPR. They want to see you applying it. Here are 3 ways to get solid evidence. First, the Policy Connect. Find a policy at work, like your acceptable use policy. In your portfolio, map a task you did to that policy, and then map that policy to the law. For example, I encrypted this USB drive in line with our security policy, which ensures we meet the integrity requirements of the Data Protection Act. Second, the IP audit. If you write code, screenshot the license file of a library you imported. Write a short reflection explaining what that license allows and why it was legally safe to use in your commercial project. Third, the accessibility review. Use a free tool like Google Lighthouse on a page you built. Screenshot the accessibility score, make a change to improve it, and screenshot the new score. That is undeniable evidence of social and legal standards in action. Finally, looking ahead to your major project. You cannot pass the project report without a section on this. You need a specific heading, usually titled Legal, Ethical, and Professional Implications. In this section, you must explicitly state how you handle data, covering GDPR. You must clarify who owns the intellectual property of what you built. You should discuss the ethical impact. Did you consider accessibility? Here is a pro tip. Even if your project had no personal data and no complex legal issues, do not leave this blank. Write a paragraph stating that you conducted a review and confirmed that these issues were not present. Proving you checked is just as important as fixing a problem. Let's recap. Today we explored the professional's rulebook. We learned about the 4 guardrails: the legal, must DOS; the ethical, should DOS; the social, impact DOS; and the professional, we DOS. We've drilled down into the big 3 laws, GDPR, computer misuse, and copyright, and discussed how to apply accessibility and diversity standards in your specific roles. Your mission for this week is simple but powerful. Find just one internal policy document at your work. Read it, and work out which UK law it is designed to satisfy. Note that down. It's the start of your K19 evidence. In our next and final knowledge session, we will look at K20, where we explore our responsibility to the planet and the principles of green computing. Thank you for your focus. You are now not just skilled professionals, you are responsible ones.